Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another craft day. Well, today we're going to be making our bee wreath. And I showed you the product in that little haul that I just got this past week. I'm going to be making it for a friend here in our development who loves yellow and bees. In fact, she has a yellow golf cart called the Busy Bee. So this is a little bit labor intensive, I'm sure. Working with poly burlap is, for me anyway. And I want to give a shout out to Julie over at Julie's Wreath Boutique. I have the most difficult time saying that. Julie's Wreath Boutique for the inspiration. She made this wreath probably I think about a year ago or so. And I was able to find the product and I thought it was just perfect for the gift I wanted to give. So thanks, Julie, and for your inspiration. I'm going to be doing this in a few parts. The first part, we will be downstairs while I'll be cutting the mesh with the wood burner. And I will be doing a voiceover there because, one, I have a mask on, which kind of distorts my voice a little bit. And two, my husband is working in another part of the shed, hanging pegboard and insulation, and so there's some background noise that would be annoying. So we'll be back in just a couple of minutes and get busy cutting the mesh for the bee wreath. Be right back. Hang in there. Okay, I'm just showing you, I'm starting with the plain yellow mesh. I'm cutting these at 10 inches, and I have a mark on my glass plate here to show me where to go. And I'm just going down between the mesh and trying to keep in the same line. And I checked my video that I saw from Julie to see how many of each kind to cut. And for the yellow mesh here that I'm using, I'm cutting 8. And then we'll move on to a different mesh. All right, now I'm going to be cutting some of this window pane mesh. And this is a little bit different. You see it has these vertical lines in it. And I'm going to try to each edge stay in those vertical lines because it does help to keep the ends from fraying. So you see I'm inside those vertical lines and I'm just now cutting off the edge to make a starting place. Okay, now I'm going to be measuring 10 inches again, but sometimes these are not quite 10 inches. They're a little bit more than 10 inches because I need to stay in between those vertical lines in order to keep the raveling to a minimum. So that's what you'll see me do. I won't be right at my 10-inch mark. I might be just a little bit bigger. So that's where I'm going to go right now. Just a couple of, oh golly, not even an 1/8 of an inch, probably bigger. But I'm staying within those vertical lines to help reduce some of the fraying. Now this black checked mesh, I'm cutting 10 of these, and then we'll be moving on to another one. Right back. But now we're on black. And you can see that the black is like the yellow. That's an easy one to cut. And this black, I will be doing 15 black. Doing more of those. Okay, now we're going to be doing the last one, which is the yellow checked mesh. And I'll be cutting that just like I did the black and yellow. goes between the vertical lines. So let me cut these. I'm only cutting, let me think, 5, I think. I think 5 of these. So I'll be back as soon as we finish cutting these. Okay, I just traced a circle onto this mat that matches the inside circle on my 10-inch box wire wreath form. So I'm going to cut this out, and then we're going to attach that circle to the wreath form using some zip ties. I'll be back in a second as soon as I have it cut out. Okay, here is my form. Now this is called a 10-inch box wire wreath form. I got mine at Craft Outlet. The Wreath Shop and a few other places carry them. And what is meant by the box wreath form, this has a little bit of elevation. I don't know if it shows, but you can see it's a little bit elevated, sort of like your regular work forms. I have cut out the circle, and I'm just going to use some zip ties to attach it to the inside of this form. And I have to probably pick it up a little bit too. Going under that last wire and through the form. Right side up next time. Oh dear, wouldn't be Donna if she'd had it right side up the first time. Okay, now I'm not tightening it all the way right at the moment because I'm going to put one opposite it. And I want it to be as centered as possible. Now I'm going to pull them both. There we go. Now the other should be a little bit easier because this won't move around quite so much. Get a hold of it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I want to make sure it stays on as like a little bit on top of this ring. Okay. And this mesh you can get, I got mine at Hobby Lobby in the embroidery section. And I forgot what size these holes are, but you're better off if you can get one that's got a little bit bigger hole. I happen to have zip ties that fit very nicely in this hole, but it is, I think I'll put 2 more. It is a little smaller than recommended. We want this to be nice and steady in the middle. And it doesn't make any difference that this has red magic marker on it because we're not going to see that. Oh, wrong ones. Wrong ones. Here we are. And there you go. Now that is all set for the last row of petals and the center of the wreath. So now we'll start with the outside of this frame making our petals. And I'm going to start on the second wire. And I'm going to use the plain black. And this is what we call the leaf petal. You come to the middle. I have the finished top and bottom. Come to the middle. Come to the middle. I have the finished side to side. Come to the middle, go up. Fold it over and put the left one over the right one just a little bit. Okay? And that's going to go right on this crossbar. Give me a second. Put it right underneath it. Hello, there you go. Now you see you have a finished edge here and a finished edge here. Let's do that again. Goes to the middle, it goes to the middle. Come up, twist it over, put the left one over the right one. Not totally, but part way. Okay, and we're going to go to the next crossbar. And I'm going to put one around on each one of these crossbars. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put two in between each one of these. The same petal. And let me just do one here. Still in the second row. Now you see this one here has the raw edge here, and this one here that I just put on has the finished edge. So I'm overlapping the finished edge over the raw edge just a little bit. And I'll do that all the way around. Okay? I'll show you one more, and then I'll finish this row off camera. Middle, gather it in the middle, turn it over, put the left on top of the right, see that is over that one, and then this one will go over that one. And it kind of protects the edges. Alright, I'm going to go around and do the rest of the sections, and I'll be back when we have gone around the wreath. So there you go, look at that, huh? Isn't that pretty? And all of the, basically, most all of the raw edges are somewhat covered. That makes a good sized wreath. This is from the outside now, measuring about 22 inches. It takes up my whole mat. 22 inches wide. Okay, now the next one that we're going to make is called the daisy petal. And we're going to be using one of our checked meshes. Okay, now the next petal, as I said, is going to be the daisy petal, and I'm going to use the black and yellow checked. And I'm going to start on the third row. There's one row here, we're on the second row, now I'm going to the third row, okay? And I'm going to put my first zip tie on the third row, not on the crossbar, but you see this one here is on that crossbar, you see, right here? And I'm putting this one right to the left of it. And the daisy petal, if I can get in the picture a little bit, let me just, I'm going to have to move this up just a little bit. Okay, I'm making a triangle as best I can, because some of these, as you remember, are not 10 inches because of the type of mesh it is. We had to cut where the closest strings were to hold it. So I made a triangle, I'm gathering the bottom, and that is basically the daisy petal. And I think Dean Michaels is the one that originated this petal, but Julie also used it. And I'm going to put it right in this zip tie here. And then I'm going to put one, the next one I'm going to put is just before this crossbar. So I'm not putting one here. I'm going to put one right in this area. Okay, my pieces are left. This is my cut. My finished edges are left and right. I'm going to make a triangle. And actually, I'm going to turn my triangle because I'm left-handed and it's easier for me to gather with my left hand. So I'm just going to gather this up. go under the last couple of inches, bring it up, and put it in my zip tie. And then I just put my hands under it a little bit and fluff it out. Gives it a little dimension. Okay, now basically what I'm going to do is put 2 in each one of these sections. I put one before, right after the bar here and before the bar here. Okay? Let me do another section. Finished edges left and right. And you really need to plan these zip ties, Donna, because it's harder to get them in now. Okay. Dropped it. You want to get all those little ends in that zip tie. Now going to the other end of the section. This is a little tough to work with because it's, well, first of all, it's a looser weave, and secondly, it's not exactly 10 inches because we had to go where we had to cut it where we could keep it from raveling so much. See that? Now I'm going to do that in each one of these sections, and I will be back when I've gotten around the wreath again. Back in a minute. Okay, now we've gone all the way around with that. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to do just a few with the yellow checked mesh, and where I'm going to put them is on each cross bracket, okay? But what I'm going to do is put it in the cross bracket that is, let me just see if I can show you, that is right up at the top. Here's where I put the original one, and here's the top of that same cross bracket, and that's where I'm going to put this one. I've already put my tie in there, and I'm going to do the same petal Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to get my zip tie on the cross bracket because I have to pick up the wreath form to do that. Sorry if my head is in the way. There we go. Finished edge. I like tipping that first part under just a little bit. Then I'll go along this bottom edge. And when I get over to this other side, I tip this one under just a little bit. And to me, I've got it closed for better. I will tell you, this is not my favorite mesh to work with, but it does make a pretty wreath. All right, let's do one more. Find the crossbar. Get up there. Corner to corner. There we go. All right, the last row is the plain yellow. And Julie got 8 in, so I probably will get close to the same thing. And we're just going to go around the inside about an inch, inch and a half in from the frame through the mesh. That's why we have this mesh here. So let me just put this first one in. And I'm going to do the same petal, but it's a little easier with this mesh. And you see, I'm going to just put another one fairly close to that one. do one more and then I'll finish going around off the camera. Let me put my zip tie in first. And pull it tight. And that's coming pretty, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to continue going around, see if I get 8 in mine. We'll find out. Back in a bit. Oh, there you go. There's 8. 8 worked out just fine. I have a little thread here. Cut that. Isn't this pretty, huh? Isn't this gorgeous? And you'll see it much better when it's up on the door. Okay, I have a center here. I thought this was perfect. This, I got it from Craft Outlet, and the reason I like it is because it looks more like a natural flower center. And so I prepared it by taking some wire and putting it on the back with a T florist pin, and then taking some felt and gluing it over, and so that's not going anywhere. So I'm just going to take this and go down through the middle. Isn't that pretty? That is stunning. Absolutely stunning with that center. Now that came from Craft Outlet, and I'm sorry I can't give you the number because I didn't have the package any longer. It was in my drawer. I'm just twisting. I can undo this a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut this off. And I'm going to stick these back down through the mesh. Okay? Look at that. Isn't that stunning? And you know what? I forgot to bring the bee in. So I've got to go get the bee. Be right back. Alrighty, here's that little bee, and I've cut one off, and I'm just gonna glue him right here, because he's gonna show up pretty good on that. So I've got a good portion of glue on the back of him, and of course my glue stick ran out. Of course. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. So we'll just hold them for a couple of minutes. His wings can come up a little bit, but like I said, now this person has a glass door, so I don't want to get it too dimensional. hold it till it sets up. There you go. Isn't that stunning? I absolutely love it. I'm going to go hang it on the door so you get a better view. Be right back. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? What a gorgeous wreath. Even if I have to say so myself. It is just beautiful. It's not easy to work with that mesh. And I have enough to make another wreath when I work up to it. And the little bee. So cute. What do you think? Leave me a comment. I love it. I absolutely love it. One of the prettier ones I've made, I think. And I want to thank Julie over at Julie's Wreath Boutique again for the inspiration. I certainly don't come up to her quality at all, but I do love the way she does her wreaths, and she's a very good teacher. So I will link her site down below. If you go over, just tell her that Donna sent you, Paper Dreamer. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, please do. And you'll be notified when I come out again. So I hope you all have a great afternoon. And I'll see you again on the next craft day. Until then, everybody play nice now. Love ya. Bye-bye.